guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a makeup tutorial and it's going to be on this look right here if my camera will focus. There we go. I was in the mood to play around with a little bit of color, so I did a little bit of a pop of green on the center of the eyelids. It's still very wearable, but it's a little bit of color in there for you guys, especially because a lot of you guys always tell me to play around with more color because you know it's kind of out of my comfort zone. I normally go for neutrals on an everyday basis. I do feel like you could get away with this during the daytime or going into night, maybe after work, after school, or what have you. So if you guys want to see how I got this look right here, then just keep on watching. Alright guys, so let's get started, and right off the bat I definitely look a little bit cray right now. My eyebrows are super intense because when I'm playing around with darker eyeshadows, I definitely like my eyebrows to be nice and dark and bold. So the eyebrows are done already, and I did not include that in this tutorial because my last video before this one was actually an eyebrow tutorial, so I will link that down below if you want to see exactly how I did my eyebrows. And the only other thing that I have on my face right now is my moisturizer, and the moisturizer that I am using is the one from the acne.org system. So other than that, there is nothing else on my face, so I'm going to start off by priming, and I'm actually going to be using this Holy Grail primer right here, and I don't know if this is discontinued or not. This is when Wet n Wild did a little collaboration thingy with Fergie, and I love the primer that they came out with. So this is actually an eyeshadow primer, but I love to use this underneath my eyes. I'm telling you guys that this has changed my life. This method right here of priming underneath my eyes makes it so that I can use absolutely any concealer and it's not going to crease at all on me all day long. It will last. It's not going to fade. I have a serious problem with my concealer getting caught in like the little fine lines underneath my eyes. And since using a primer underneath my eyes, I don't have that problem at all. So I'm going to apply that under my eyes, and then whatever is left over on my fingers, I'm just going to gently pat right on top of my eyelids. I'm actually not using a primer on my face, which a lot of you guys may find surprising, but I will get into that a little bit later in the video as to why I'm not priming my face. So the next thing that I'm going to do is apply my concealer to my under eye circles. I'm using the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind in the shade Light, and I'm always very generous with my concealer because I like to use it kind of like killing two birds with one stone, even though I hate that expression. But anyway, I want to highlight and also conceal at the same time. So I'm going to apply this kind of in an upside down triangle shape like so. And then I'm just going to use a brush to blend that in. And the reason that I'm applying my concealer before my foundation is because I am going to be using a powder foundation, so I like to apply any cream products first because cream doesn't really go that well over powder. So I'm just going to use a blending brush to just dab this in. Alright, and immediately after that, the first thing that I want to do is set this concealer because I don't want it creasing at all. So I'm going to be using this Wet n Wild Reserve Your Cabana. This is actually called a bronzer. I don't know why. As you guys can see, it's a skin tone shade and it's also matte. It has no type of shimmer in it. So I'm just going to be applying this wherever we put any concealer, underneath the eyes, and then also right on top of my lids. It's going to make it a lot easier to blend my eyeshadows later on when we get to that step because we're applying this down. Okay, next is my favorite step because my skin has been freaking out so bad lately, and as you guys can see, there's a lot of redness. There's not as much acne, current acne, but there's more like left behind acne scarring. And because of that, I decided to completely switch up my foundation routine. I am gonna have a video completely on this, but basically the biggest change is that I just went to minerals. Nothing but minerals on my face. Any powders for the most part, except what you guys saw that I put around my eyes, I have been trying to use minerals. So I have gotten this Jane Iredale Pressed Pure Base. It's basically just a powder foundation, and I am in between shades. By the way, these are a little bit expensive. They are $40 each. That's why I didn't buy the compact separately that it goes in. It has like a big gold heavy compact that's like an extra $25. So I already spent $80 on the two of these foundations, so I'm like, okay, that's enough. So anyway, I'm in between shades Warm Sienna and Golden Glow. So what I'm gonna do is take the lighter one first. This one is Warm Sienna, and it actually comes with a little pad that I like here, and I'm just going to use that first to just place it down, to put it on my face, and then I'm gonna go in with the other one and buff it all out. So I can show you guys better than I can explain it, so I'm probably going to speed this part up. I really like this foundation because it lasts all day long. It does not crease on me at all or get cakey, and I also don't get shiny. So there's really no need for that primer step. So anyway, let me just stop talking and apply this. Okay, so you can see that first shade was definitely way too light for me. So now what I'm gonna do is go in with Golden Glow, and I'm basically just going to be buffing everything in. And I'm not gonna get into the specifics with this foundation because again, I am going to do a complete review and an updated foundation routine using this stuff, but you can actually only pick this up at like skincare spas and dermatologist offices. It's supposed to be very, very pure, very good for people that have sensitive skin, acne prone skin, and it can actually be used after you get like laser treatments on your face or laser peels or acne peels or whatever those procedures are called. It's actually okay to use over your really, really sensitive skin, and it's actually supposed to be good for your skin. So I've been using this for about the past 2 weeks. I am still playing around with it before I come out with that video for you guys. But as you can see, it really did cover up everything. I don't need to apply a separate concealer underneath this. So I like to apply one thin layer all over my entire face, and then I just kind of go in my trouble areas, which right now are my cheeks and my chin, and just apply a second layer there. And that's all that I do for my foundation. It's perfect for back to school, by the way, because it takes like 20 seconds to do my entire foundation, and it lets your skin breathe, which is super, super important. So the next thing that I'm going to be using on my face is my bronzer, and yes, I am using a mineral as my bronzer as well. I used to use this as my foundation back in the day. The only thing that I don't like about this is that it kind of emphasizes pores, so I don't really like to use it around like my nose area and the skin around my nose, but it's perfect as a bronzer even though it's a powder foundation. It gives me a little bit more coverage, which I'm not mad at. So this is the Bare Minerals Ready Foundation in the shade Golden Medium. Sorry, I just had a total brain fart right there. And since it is too dark for me right now, I have been losing my tan. Sadly, I am using this as a bronzer. So I'm just applying this around my forehead, onto my temples, into the hollows of my cheeks, the sides of my nose, and on my chin and jawline. And this is just basically going to contour my face a little bit, and it's gonna warm it up as well. You see? Looking like a different person already. So the next thing that I'm gonna be applying onto my face is my blush, and yes, it's another mineral product. This one is by Bella Terra Mineral Cosmetics, and this is their blush in the shade Unadulterated Life. This is a loose blush, so it can get a little bit on the messy side. Basically what I'm gonna do is take a big fluffy brush. This one is from e.l.f. I'm just going, oh my gosh, holy Jesus. I'm gonna tap the excess off and just swirl it around in my cap, really work it into the brush, and then I'm just going to be applying this onto the apples of my cheeks, working back. I really like this blush because it has a pretty glow to it as well. Just going to apply a little bit more. Look how pretty that is. I love it. And the last step that I'm gonna do for the skin is highlighting. This is the only powder that I'm applying on my face that is not a mineral powder, but I'm going to be applying it in a place where I don't ever break out, so I'm okay with that. This is the Mary Luminizer highlighter, and I'm just going to, you guys can see how gorgeous this is. This is the one thing I will make an exception for because it is so gorgeous and I can't find anything that compares to it. So I'm just going to be applying this right there on the top of my cheekbone. Look at that highlight though. Look at that. That is it for the skin, and now we are going to move on to the eyes. All right, so this is actually really, really simple to do. The first thing that I'm gonna do is apply a piece of tape because I want a really fine line. And the way that I like to do that is apply it from the bottom of where my eye ends right up to where my eyebrow ends. And the first palette that I'm gonna be using is from NYX, and it is called their Dream Catcher palette. This is what it looks like right here. I'm gonna be using a combination of these shades, but the first one that I'm gonna be using is right here. It's just a creamy white matte shade. And I'm going to apply this all over my eyelid, from the bottom lash line all the way up to the brow bone. And again, this is gonna make sure that I can really blend any eyeshadows that I place on my eye very, very easily. Next, I'm going to define my upper crease using this shade right here. So I'm lifting my eyebrow up to help me find my crease, and I'm just going to place this right in there. I'm gonna start right into my crease, and then I'm going to blend it upwards towards my eyebrow, not going all the way. I just want to define my crease and a little bit of the upper crease as well. Next, I'm going to apply a matte green shade right onto my lid. This is called Kush, and this is by NYX. After that, I'm going in with a shimmery green shade, and this is also by NYX, and it's called Zen. And lastly, I will be going in with this olive green color right here from Too Faced. And I'm going to apply this right into the center of my lid. Lastly, I'm going to buff everything out in the crease with this matte brown color. Alright, and next I'm going to remove the tape. You can see that I have a little bit of fallout that I'm just going to swipe away. And then I'm going to take a little bit of that powder that we used before to set the under eye, and I'm just going to clean that up. And lastly, I'm going to take this golden shade right here, and I'm going to pop this right into my inner tear ducts just for a little pop of golden sparkle. Next, I'm going to apply a little bit of black eyeliner into my waterline. It's alright if it gets a little bit messy because I'm just going to smudge it out. Using a dark gray shadow, I'm just going to blend that in. Next, I'm going to move on to my liner and lashes. I do have a tutorial on how I do my liner and lashes, so I will be right back. Alright, so the liner and lashes are done. I will have everything posted down below as for what I used. And lastly, I'm going to be applying my lipstick. I'm going to be using one of my absolute favorites. I have been using this since high school. This is L'Oreal's Fairest Nude, and it's the perfect pinky brown nude color. Last but not least, I'm going to spray my setting spray. Oof. That was a lot. And we are all done. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Again, all the products that I used in today's video will be posted down below in the description box. And yeah, I will see you guys all in my next video. Mwah. Bye.